money because I dropped out of school, and they gave me some of my scholarship money back, so got a ticket over there.
Hell yeah.
I got to do some comedy shows over there. That was really cool. They liked, well, there was a lot of European people, and Europeans like my one-liners more than the Vietnamese people. There was a little bit of a language barrier there because I was messing with the English language. So they just liked it when I cussed. They're just like, he said fuck.
Funny white guy cussing.
Yeah, exactly. I did it like for some Vietnamese improv show. I did like 15 minutes.
Well, I tossed this up on Facebook, so hello Facebook Live.
Hello Facebook Live.
This is Zeke, and we are podcasting our little hearts out here on Truth, Love, and Peace.
I got a big heart.
Got a big heart.
Pulmonary problem.
I don't know if you have Facebook on you and want to share, but that's what I'm going to be setting up. For those of you joining us on Facebook, you got to go back and listen to the podcast to figure out what we were talking about. But Zeke's sister, I'll give you that much.
Traveling, nothing weird.
Yeah, nothing weird. Nothing too weird. It's Vietnam. How did you end up in Vietnam?
Yeah.
But that means you also mentioned that you just took some time off for the baby. I don't know the baby's name yet.
It is Arthur Elliott Buckhaulst.
Arthur Elliott Buckhaulst.
Yeah.
Who are those people in relationship to you?
Raquel, my fiance, is Brazilian, and her uncle and her grandfather are both Arthur or some shit. I'm bad at saying it, making it sound Brazilian-y, so it sounded dumb, so we're like, alright, Americanize it, Arthur. T.S. Eliot was my grandmother's favorite poet, and she died recently, so it's kind of like a shout out to T.S. Eliot through my grandmother, or my grandmother through T.S. Eliot. Yeah.
Nice. Very cool.
Absolutely.
What's the Blind Mule? What is that?
Red Beans 1-2. Should I go get my phone?
Nah, that's okay.
Share it? Okay.
Oh, if you want to, yeah. Do that real quick.
Yeah.
And I'll get the this last plug-in. So, Wednesdays at the Blind Mule, for those of you listening. For those of you on Facebook, I imagine you've seen it. But Wednesdays, we get together in Mobile, Alabama, down here on the coast, at a little place called the Blind Mule, and have an open mic. And it's been going on for about 5 years, from my understanding. And Zeke's been hosting it for about 1, and that's why we're here early, is to get into that whole...
Well, the host has been Ryan Adams for the past few months.
Right, you said you did it for about a year, though, right?
Yeah, before, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, like a couple years ago. I don't know how to get to it.
It's on ComptonSmith.com,
Okay.
Compton Smith, Facebook.
Facebook.com.
It's my professional page. I sometimes wonder which one I should put it on and which one I shouldn't. It's on the other one, the page.
Wait, TL, that one? Or
Compton Smith. Yeah, if anybody's wondering, all of the podcasts for Truth, Love, and Peace, you can find all of the new ones on my professional page, which is Compton Smith.
No J.
Correct.
Gotcha. What's the J for?
James is my first name. My full
right.
name is James Compton Smith.
Okay, yeah. James Compton Smith.
Which is boring. No. I went by Jim Smith for 30 years. I figured I'd spice it up a little bit. That's why I go by Compton now.
Well,
I don't think I've ever told that story on
No,
this,
we
so
talked. We talked.
No, I
about
mean
it.
on the podcast.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Most people listening are like, "How this guy's
What's
Compton?
Compton?
What's
Just
this
like that
nonsense?"
place?
Yeah.
I don't see it. People.
Just type in. Let's do a little experiment. Here's a good one for you. Type in truth. In the Facebook. If you go to Facebook, the legend is, if you go to Facebook and type in truth.
And just search it?
Yep.
Compton. That's the one.
Oh, that's not the page, though. Go to pages and see what comes up.
Oh.
See, we're going this way, aren't we?
Wait.
Yes.
That is Marshall in the background is orchestrating things and making things happen. No, man.
I'm here to...
We're glad you're here.
Where's it's not?
Marshall's supporting us.
I'm not getting it.
You're not getting it? Oh, that's... Try just Pages, Compton, Truth, something like that. No, there was... A friend told me that if you search Truth, it comes up. That's it right there. Right at the top.
That's Compton J. Smith again. Oh, maybe you gotta click on Pages again.
Yep.
Oh my God! Why was that? I'm not good.
So complicated. I know it's so complicated. Facebook won't let me change it. So, but that's where all of them are now. They're on my professional page.
Is this me? That's that one viewer. Hey, me.
You are now.
Yeah. All right. That's kind of crazy.
Down the wormhole of Facebook.
Yeah. All right.
And then.
Well, I don't know if I've told you this. You go by Compton, but my name is William Tucker Buckhaulst, and my parents have just, or my family, everybody's always called me Zeke because it's like a family. Both my grandfathers died when my parents were real young, so they wanted to give a shout out to them, but their names were Alvin and Elbert, and they didn't want to name me Alvin Elbert Buckhaulst, which I'm down with. And when Elbert was about 16, he ran away from home, hopped trains, lied about his age, and joined the Air Force, and told everybody to call him Zeke. So they gave me 2 other family names and called me Zeke.
Nice.
Yeah. So Arthur Elliott could be even like, we might just call him like Ted or something. It doesn't matter in our family.
But see, that makes me all the more jealous because that means you basically came up with what I missed and my brother got, which was 4 names.
Oh, yeah.
I only got the 3.
Yeah.
And my brother is, I'm not going to say all of them since this goes out into a lot of places, but he got 4. It's like, you bastard.
Yeah.
Like, you get to pick.
That might be too many, though. How many syllables is it? Is it a lot of syllables? Or
Lots. It's a mouthful. Like, you have to stop what you're doing and say it.
Hey, where's him and the Gabba?
That's how important he is. But when he had his kid, his first kid, that was one of the jokes. It was like, whatever you do, give him 4 names.
Yeah.
And then he didn't do it. And it was like, what the hell? And he said, it's a pain in the ass for monogramming things.
Monogramming? What? That's the reason?
Really? That's exactly what I said.
Just choose one of them.
Just choose one of them. So, where were all those folks in your family from? Where are you originally from? Here in Mobile?
Yeah, Mobile.
Born and raised, huh?
Born and raised.
I grew up over in, what was it, Timberley. Like out there, Cottage Hill, Azalea Road, out that way.
All right. You grew up there?
How about you? Yeah.
I grew up on Hollinger's Island down by the Dog River Bridge and stuff.
Yeah. Went to this is going to sound horrible, St. Luke's.
I went to St. Luke's.
No shit!
Yeah, I did.
I graduated in like 95, I think it was.
Really?
Was it high school when you were there?
No, it wasn't high school. I graduated, or I guess graduated, or left it right before they turned it into it, or added a high school to it. Whatever they were paying for St. Luke's with, decided to stop paying for St. Luke's with, and went to Phillips for 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, and then went to Murphy for high school.
Heck yeah, man.
I'm jealous because my sister got to go to Old Shell Road, and it was like a performing arts school, and she's not even doing anything with performing arts. She wants to just feed goats for the rest of her life. What? Which is cool. I mean, whatever. Own some goats, do your thing, but she also got the middle name Shropshire, which is like a family name. I named my band that actually in high school with Carson and Julian Truxton.
What kind of music do you guys play?
We a little bit of everything. When we first started it, we called it Cubical Funk because we played in like an office, and then kind of punk funk, a lot of Red Hot Chili Peppers orientation, and then like reggae. We played some reggae, played some like jammy stuff. I don't know, little country flavors in there. Played a little everything. So.
Very versatile.
Yeah, we're getting it back together too, coming up soon.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh really? I might have an outlet for your music.
Yeah. Hey, that'll be good. Pirate radio.
Yeah.
But legal pirate radio.
We're working on all that parts.
Yeah.
For those project that I worked on with a good friend of mine, Kurt Brewer, and Kurt and I. One of the reasons we that I was late getting here is because. We've been talking a lot about how we can bring back and what we can do. And it looks way more promising. I am underselling it. I assure you. Because I am super stoked about it. Man, ever since they did the iPhone thing, just here's a total side note. But the iPhone redo for old iPhones with the batteries, did you hear about this?
No.
Where they slow them down? Oh, it's annoying as hell. I made the mistake of updating one of my phones.
They slow down the battery?
Yeah, they slow down the batteries. It's nonsense.
One of my phones. I wish I could say that.
No. Well, they're old. I got my hands on some old ones because I needed portable computers.
Yeah.
So, there you go. I shared it to my timeline, which is apparently what I should have done in the first place, because now people know to come join us. That's where most of my fan base is. That's why
Your personal page?
Film it. Yeah. So that's why we do that. But all that being done, fucking hell, I can't wait to hear the music. Is there anywhere we can go listen to your band's music?
Oh, we have one video on YouTube from 2010. We were like 15 years old. We played Bayfest. Remember Bayfest?
Yeah.
Played Bayfest in Mod Mobillion. I don't know
What
if they're
year
still
was
around.
this?
2010.
2010?
Yeah.
I was not around. I just had this vision of you being on stage and me being at Bayfest.
Yeah, this is pretty crazy. Well, you were at my elementary school right after I was born. No, because I would have been. Yeah,
95 was my last year there.
Yeah, I was born in 94.
Yeah. Wow. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Without saying a word.
Look at how much beard growth you got in all
I
that
know.
time.
I started late too. It's a shame.
Is it?
It's a shame.
I started as soon as I could.
I got out of a coat and tie job and decided I had never seen my beard a year long, and so I grew it out. Have you seen your beard a year long?
I don't have the patience for it.
What?
I don't know. It gets to this poofy part, and I'm like, ooh, that needs to go down. It makes my face look. I already got like a round face, so it makes it look even poofier.
You just gotta plow ahead, man.
Plow ahead.
You just gotta plow ahead. Something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I gotta break that barrier.
You should try it though. It's good. It's good to know what it feels like a year long.
I want to get a. Did you trim it at all?
No.
You just let it go?
No, just
See,
I'm not gonna get laid for a year. Just commit to it.
I'll be checked at airports for a year. That's funny. Do you get checked at airports for being a Scottish terrorist?
My brother and I, before I wore a kilt, were in Gulf Shores at a franchise kind of place, chicken wings, blah blah.
Yeah.
Two gentlemen looked at us and asked us straight-faced, "Are y'all terrorists?" His beard looks a little more like Fidel Castro, but between the two of us, we look like terrorists.
All right.
At least in Foley or wherever we were. So, yeah, people ask. It comes up.
What kind of weapons would a Scottish terrorist use?
Bagpipes.
Just bagpipe.
You can clear a room.
Bagpipe bombs. So it's like a pipe bomb.
Damn.
Lord.
I can't play bagpipes well, but I can play them well enough to clear a room. However
How about clearing a whole country? You think you could do that?
With a loud enough PA.
Yeah.
Sure.
It's all about the technology in this Scottish terrorism.
And at that point, hey, well, they're using sonic devices down there in Guantanamo, like in
Are they? I don't
yeah,
know.
they
Sonic, like they're real fast and they're little blue hedgehogs?
No, almost. That's a Fox P1 gene, which is a whole other story. How Sonic the Hedgehog became the name of a gene.
Really?
Yeah, really.
Like, are they super fast people and kind of blue?
No, it's the relay unit. Like, you need this particular gene for a limb to extend out of it in an embryo.
So everybody's got a Sonic gene.
Oh, yeah.
Unless you don't have any arms.
Everybody has Sonic the Hedgehog gene. It's a genetic marker.
I just picture it like he's like running, there's coins coming out.
Yeah.
Building an arm.
Whole nother tangent. Totally forgot what I was talking about, but...
Oh, yeah. Sonic waves. Sonic Guantanamo.
Man, that's so many things in my head. You said Sonic waves, and I had a flash of Egyptian pyramids and shit.
I had a flash of
crazy
Sonic
right
surfing. And it was I'm stuck on the Sonic thing.
No, they pointed these sonic cannons at the embassy in Puerto Rico or wherever Guantanamo is. Where is that? Cuba?
Guantanamo
Cuba.
Bay?
Yeah, Cuba.
Yeah,
So-
Cuba.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, they people were complaining of headaches, and they figured out it was because they were blasting them with this sound wave. And you can do that with sound, like you can disperse a crowd. Have you seen these things? They mount them on tanks now. They've come that far.
I've seen them in like movies.
Yeah, big loudspeakers. They hurt, man. Like the brown
Sure,
note.
yeah.
That's a real thing.
It's messed up. But it's not like a small, like just consistent wave, is it? Like that's kind of because that's what from one of those books, old teenager books, where they or it might have been Big Brother or something. I don't know. They had or The Giver. No. Anyways, they just had like a ringing in everybody's ears. If you're like intelligent or smart or like sideways thinking, they would have like a constant ringing whenever you started to think. No, it's in Rant by Chuck Palahniuk. Or not. Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
Harrison Bergeron.
Harrison Bergeron.
Yeah. They wear these headbands, and the lowest common denominator. It makes everybody stupid. Rant is the neural implants, where you can plug into the back and you can share somebody else's neural experience.
That's right. Okay, yeah.
That's one of my... We could talk about that for 2 fucking hours. The oral biography of Buster Casey is one of the most incredible books of all time. And Chuck Palahniuk is fucking amazing. But I think you're thinking of this book about, it's called Harrison Bergeron or something, where it's kind of like Aldous Huxley utopian.
Yeah.
But they all have to wear this thing.
Yeah.
And it makes them dumb.
Well, it's not, they don't all wear it in this one that I'm thinking of. I think it's just like, if you're tested for being extra intelligent. Maybe somebody ripped it off of that.
And they make you dumb. I think a lot of people have told the story of lowest common denominator keeps everybody happy.
Fair enough, yeah.
Like, I think that's an archetype somewhere. Joseph Campbell talked about it. And then I forgot how we got on that. But yeah, people coming down to the lowest common denominator, it fucking sucks. PC culture.
Yeah.
That's where we're headed. It's problematic. How did we get on that?
I don't know.
Placeholder?
Cuba.
Yeah, we were talking about sonic weapons. But I forget how we got on that. We were talking about music and all kinds of crazy stuff. But the reason I can't think of it is because I really want to talk to you about comedy.
Okay.
I want to hear about how you got started in comedy. Because that's what I'm trying to learn how to do right now.
Get started in comedy? I mean, you're started. You're in it. You're doing it.
Well, I want to get better at it. I'm learning to get better at it.
I mean, that's just doing it as much as you can. And I don't do it as much as I used to or as much as I should. And I don't write as much. That's the big thing that I keep hearing from guys that I respect is don't stop writing.
Yeah.
Just keep on writing. Keep trying things. Keep trying new things. Kind of thing. But I started when I was 18 in Tuscaloosa. My friend Nick got me into comedy. Or he had been doing comedy, and then we got drunk on like a gallon of Everclear. He was like, "You should do comedy," and then same kind of thing. Woke up, sobered up, was like, "That still makes sense." So signed up for the next open mic. Was supposed to do 3 minutes. Didn't know about the light thing yet, so did 5. He was like, "It's cool, man." It was probably still one of my favorite sets I've ever done. Like it was like so much like, and now I feel like I'm chasing that thing ever since then. But then I took dropped out of school, moved to DC. In my mind, to follow my dreams, play music and do comedy, and basically just wound up working 6 days a week, doing improv once a week maybe, and sleeping the rest of the time because it's so fucking expensive. It's like $750 for 2-bedroom, 2-bath that I split with 4 other people, so that was mostly for that. And then I came back to Mobile, was supposed to move with, I went over to Philadelphia and did comedy over there a few times, and that's where my friend Nick was. Came back home because I was supposed to move with Nick, so I came back home to get more clothes and change out some stuff. And when I was home, Nick was like, "Never mind, I'm not moving." So then I got stuck in Mobile for a while, and stuck in Mobile, found Blind Mule. Kind of been at that point. There was only like 2 people coming out at that point, and there was a few where it was just me and Alfred showed up. One of us hosted, did 15 minutes. The other did 15 minutes, and then we left. Like fill out a good 15 minutes. I was just doing everything.
I think that's where I'm at. If I did everything, I might have 15
minutes. Yeah. Well, yeah, that's at the beginning. And then another way I have more material now because I'm more comfortable on stage because I've been doing it so much and I've been just letting myself talk sometimes just to kind of get into the comfort zone, kind of get used to it so I can continue to do it. And then I wind up ranting about something or talking about something for 5 minutes, and then it seems like I didn't have enough time, so it hits an edge there, or hits a pivot.
I have found myself driving around on Monday nights, just going, "Where can we have an open mic? Where can we have an open mic?"
In Mobile?
Like,
are you in Mobile? Or are you in Orange Beach?
I live in Perdido Key.
Perdido Key.
So,
okay.
You know, right next to Orange Beach.
Yeah.
And just somewhere, anywhere. At the point where I just want to get the same way. Just want to get mic time, want to get practice.
Well, for a while we had the industry open mic, which was really cool, and they had some musicians, but they were very comic friendly, so we kind of had like a comedy segment of it. And then we were at a point where we could do comedy about 8 times a week.
Yeah.
But they weren't. It was like 2 of them were comedy oriented.
Yeah.
The other one was just you kind of struggling through people there sitting to wait for a band to play or something.
Oh yeah, that's not as much fun.
I mean, but you need it. Build your chops though, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Doing those shitty rooms.
Oh yeah. I was in this room one night and it was cold and I could not overcome.
Really?
It was cold and it was late. I was telling this story earlier, and I couldn't make myself feel funny. So there was no way I was going to come across as funny. It was an interesting thing to walk through. Like, it wasn't soul shattering or anything, but it was educational.
Yeah. Educational.
It was educational.
Yeah, that's I don't know. You said feel funny. I like that because I don't. A lot of times I don't fucking feel funny, and when I first started doing comedy, I would like almost black out and like not remember kind of exactly what happened or what went down on the specific things, and I finally can. Now I can, or I would like be looking at my shoes and be really into my head, but now I can just like make dead eye contact with people right up front. So I don't know, feel funny. I don't know what I was trying to go with that, but a lot of times I don't feel funny. I just get up and talk at them.
So make them laugh.
Yeah, for a while. In that blackout period, it's not because I was drinking, but I would be so nervous that I would throw up every time before I got on stage, no matter if it was a show, an open mic, anything. I'd throw up for like a year and a half, and then black out, and then and then be like, come out on the other side like, fuck yeah, dude, I feel great, or I feel kind of bad. Either way, I would want to drink at that point. It was like celebratory or drown my sorrows. But that's one thing for sure, is comedy is a kind of drinking culture.
It is.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be. And I had to make that realization myself when I had the kid. Is I've kind of surrounded it around my friends and drinking, having some drinks, and then doing comedy, doing what I enjoy. But it doesn't have to.
Well, I gave up
to
drinking a year ago. You know, I told you the beard for me has been a thing. Look at that. I stole the door and stole the seat. I'm so used to being on this side of the microphone. Sorry.
You're good.
But I just, same as the beard, I decided I wanted to see what my beard looked like a year long. I decided since I had started drinking, I had not taken a solid year off. And so last year I decided I needed to take a year off. I needed to put that coat on and see what it looked like.
Yeah.
So
has it been over a year?
Yeah. That was.
You just didn't feel like going back to drink, or
no?
You just kind of.
My liver is on sabbatical. It's
Fair
going to
enough.
let me know when it gets back. I think I was a professional drinker.
Yeah.
Too young and too long, and
yeah,
I've felt a lot better. It was to the point where, from a physical standpoint, I just couldn't accomplish the things that I needed to accomplish. It didn't feel good doing it.
Yeah,
I needed a break.
It doesn't feel good. Well, I'll have when I get off work, have a couple of shots. We get free, like a couple of free drinks and a free meal.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm losing money if I don't take my shots.
Well, I was also doing it wrong. I was drinking every night of the week on a professional level. Like,
I had been before the kid was here for about 2 years. I'd say I drank pretty much every night and to excess every time.
Yeah. I got you by about a decade and a half.
Yeah, there you go. But hey, I'm 23, so it was probably longer than it was probably like 5 or 6 years ago. I started real heavy when I was like 18 or 19, and then but yeah.
I just don't think anybody can do it forever.
I don't want to. I don't fucking want to. I don't want to smoke these forever either.
Just hurt. I had to give that one up recently too.
Yeah.
I traded in all my other vices for more fun vices.
That's fair.
So now I get into all kinds of plants.
Yeah. That was kind of always my theory on it.
Well, and I still smoke pipe. I've smoked a tobacco pipe ever since I was a kid, just because my grandfather smoked.
Yeah.
So I still have a pipe. If I really, really want to smoke something, I can smoke that. I don't think anyone has guessed wrong in that I'm not a pothead. So,
you look like you've never smoked weed before.
Says no one with a straight face ever.
You've got that anti-stoner glow.
Yeah, exactly. Even if it hadn't been, I think I may look like I'm past marijuana now. I think most people would just look at me and be like, that dude's been in the jungle somewhere.
Like he definitely does mushrooms.
Yeah, got some wigs in his beard. It smells like fungi. Probably Probably
from
not
eating
that
them.
far off.
Yeah. You've
So I-
transcended all of them. now.
Yeah, so I replaced a lot of my vices, but there is something about comedy that requires an abandon that alcohol really helps facilitate. I always equate it to shooting a good game of pool. Like, there's a certain amount of drinks that I get one game of pool that's fucking amazing.
Yeah. You're just on it. You're in the zone.
And then it's off the rails.
Yeah. It's like, I need to drink more to keep getting better. This is my pool juice. No, it's not.
And comedy's kind of like that because people, as a fan of comedy, you have to let go and let someone else drive.
Yeah.
Like, get in your brain and go with it. Because if you start thinking about it too much, you can find reasons for it not to be fun.
And if you try too hard to interject things like that are
Yeah.
off your, that's what Bill Hicks said, something like that. It was your material is what you fall back on. Just talk, and then whenever you run out of things to say, use your material.
That's a really good point.
So don't force it after you've been talking for a while. Just as soon as you get like that little lull, go right to your jokes that you know. So, or that you've written, not know. You don't do that shit and take people's jokes.
Yeah, that's one of my biggest fears is accidentally saying something that somebody else has said because I've seen so much. I was such a fan and ate it up for so long. I'm afraid I know I would never knowingly take somebody's shit.
Yeah.
I'm terrified that I'm accidentally going to regurgitate something I heard.
Well, people are pretty quick to call you out on it, so you'll definitely know. And I mean, it's happened to me a couple times where somebody took my joke and I just talked to him. I was like, "Hey, man, like that's mine." It's like, I knew I had heard it somewhere, and so I was like, "Yeah, that was me." You did it in the room that I am always at. So I figured you didn't do that on purpose. I mean, why would you just take somebody's joke and say it right in their face? It's like, whoa.
Yeah. Like, you are not Carlos Mencia.
Yeah, right.
There may have been too many shots.
And Carson was talking about it. He does, like, things that I say off stage, or people say off stage. He even, like, he said, I say brother man too much. And he said brother man one time. I was like, fuck, that was a Zeke thing. I shouldn't even. It's not me. What am I doing? What am I doing?
Just sounds like Zeke when I say it.
Yeah.
About every half hour, I have to press that button so the camera will record.
That's good.
It's a
Recording camera.
Yeah, it's a fun little setup.
Yeah.
I have thoroughly enjoyed it. Like I was saying, we used to do a pirate radio show from my house.
Yeah.
When I say my house, my camper. And the whole idea of this came about from that, doing something portable that I can go anywhere. We have actually done this driving down the road in my car. Like while
I saw that one.
I figured if Jerry Seinfeld can do it with a production crew, I can do it with nothing.
Yeah.
So we did.
Yeah.
And it's fun because it's part of the philosophy of people will pay to see a spectacle, and the easiest way to build a crowd is to take a spectacle to a crowd.
Yeah.
So this is tailor-made for that. And have you seen Kill Tony?
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. Okay, so Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah, I know of Tony Hinchcliffe.
Okay, Tony Hinchcliffe does a podcast from the Comedy Store on Monday nights.
Yeah, okay.
They do their open mic live.
Yeah, that's right. You were talking about this last week. Yeah.
It makes me want to steal some good ideas. Like, holy crap. It's so much fun. And this is one of the things we were talking about with the radio show earlier. It's something that people have done for a long time, like the Grand Ole Opry.
Yeah.
Was one of the first examples.
Yeah.
And how media in the big picture has gone from this tiny little Grand Ole Opry mom and pop local radio station thing to the industry.
Yeah.
And comedy, I think, may have some parallels in this. You let me know. But music's definitely gone that way, and now we're going back the other way with entertainment, where it's becoming more and more personalized, independent.
Yeah.
And so we're getting away from networks and then the industry, and
Still all
everybody's got a
Netflix and
YouTube
stuff.
channel, and everybody's got Netflix. They're options. They're bigger options.
Yeah, and all those like streaming channels, like Roku channels and CISO and all those things. Yeah.
And that's one of the reasons that I think doing stuff like this on a local level is so much fun.
Yeah. Well, also it's the first step to a national level.
Well, yeah.
If that's your end game.
But that's terrifying in a way that it could get that big, because I think you lose control of it. There are anomalies, but
I mean, yeah, but if you could keep it like this, just be in an empty bar and just not have anybody there.
I just don't want to ever be edited. That's one of the things I love about the podcast.
Well, yeah, if you can keep it like this, build your own label kind of thing. You know?
When we were doing the radio thing, it was the F's like always worrying, like if we get caught, We don't want FCC fines on top
Right,
of
yeah.
FCC fines.
Yeah.
Like, just having to worry about censoring yourself
Right.
is horrible. That's
Yeah.
what I love about podcasts.
Well, that's what most of the podcasts do. They're not censored at all. I mean, they're mostly just
Way more
private. Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Way more fun. Do you ever think about how comedy and music, those industries intertwine? I mean,
Well, entertainment for one. You mean the industries or the actual art form itself? Like,
both, either one.
Well, obviously a lot of rhythm in both of them, but industry-wise, I guess they're both kind of, except for I don't know, because comedy you kind of need to set up your own room in a way, and like set up your own way of, especially on a local level, you have to set up your own thing, your own show to be able to do it. Because a lot of venues just kind of see comedy open mic or a comedy show as like an alternative for karaoke or something like that. It's not like it's not its own thing, you know. And there's music venues. There's no around here. There's not very many comedy venues, so you've got to build your own way. You got to trudge harder, I'd say, for comedy. And then in music, you just kind of bring your CD around, or people have seen you, and you just get booked. So, and a lot more traveling, especially in the Southeast. A lot more traveling for comedy because they're so spread out, because they are so much harder to. There's a lot more into it to keep a solid show going all the time.
Well, I wonder how that is with the audience. Like, if there's what the limitations of social media marketing are in building something like, because like I was saying earlier, I drive around wondering where would be a good place to have an open mic.
Yeah.
Like, how do we build it? So I'm very curious on how that works and what a comedy scene looks like, because I would love for there to be a really thriving comedy scene between Mobile and Pensacola.
Yeah, Tallahassee's got a great scene over there right now. Yeah,
and you just go take some goddamn notes, I guess.
Yeah.
You're like, what can we take? What can we
Yeah,
learn from
and there are
those
places
guys?
just in like an oyster bar with like a full like restaurant going on, and they're just up in this thing with a marquee behind them, and everybody pays attention. And it's a huge dining room. It's awesome, man. It's really cool. Scott Peavy over there does a great job booking it.
Have you done shows over there?
I did the first time we did. I've only done it once, and we did it on me and Bill and Carson on our tour, and we stopped through Bird's Oyster Shack.
Nice.
Yeah, it's definitely really cool, and they got a lot of good comics over there, so it's definitely cool.
We heard Carson's version of the tour stories. Let's hear yours.
Versions of the tours were, I don't know. Me and Carson got too drunk too often. Bill was kind of just like our father figure in the whole thing. Just except for one night, I didn't drink. Bill got drunk. He was like, "Ha, better than you tonight." But no, Bill did all of the driving. I'm sure Bill still kind of has like a little black spot in his heart because of us, just because we gave him so much. A couple of nights, Bill had to pay for a hotel or a motel so two people would go up, because if you have three people, you're not allowed to get a one-bedroom thing, and it's way more expensive. So two people would walk up, one person would sneak in with them, or like come meet them at the place.
Yeah.
And we had one. It was a smoking room at a Motel 6. It was terrible. There was cigarette burns on all the sheets and everything, like just holes in it. And we just all three were in a bed, chain smoking cigarettes, watching Teen Titans, just for like a long time. And then we woke up. We were like, we can stay up late tonight, because we had driven from Baton Rouge. Is that where we were? Yeah, Baton Rouge. I say that with such confidence. Lafayette.
Right.
Lafayette. We were in Lafayette, and we did a show over there. And we thought we had a show booked in New Orleans the next day, so we drove like an hour, got drunk, went to one of those gas station casinos, and then spent all our money that we had made that night, which was not very much. And Bill shotgunned a Red Bull at the casino gas station. And then we went back to the thing, stayed up all night chain smoking, woke up. Bill goes, at like 8 o'clock in the morning, Bill was like, dude, I just realized that I did not book a show in New Orleans. We have to be in Austin in 10 hours, so we need to go. So we were like, you're fucking with us. Right? Me and Carson were like, no, fuck off, Bill. Like, that's ridiculous, dude. That's like, and then even like, I didn't even look and see which way we were driving. I was so tired getting in the car, and I thought for the entire like 2 hours that they were fucking with me still, and that we were just gonna like go hang out in New Orleans for the whole day. But then I looked up and then, fuck, we've been on the road for 5 hours, dude. We're actually going to Austin. This is terrible. And Bill drove the whole 8 hours in the morning. Yeah. And we gave Bill so much shit for that. Which we shouldn't have, because Bill did so much work getting the booking and getting us the places that we were. So thank you, Bill. And spent the most money for sure. Because me and Carson brought like a couple $100. Like, this will make it. And Bill was like, ooh.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Goodness.
So you haven't heard Bill's story of
Not yet.
It's basically he was the dad and we were eating Lunchables out of a cooler.
Oh, man. That sounds so horrible, and yet that's exactly what I want to do.
We made good money in one show. So we decided we were going to treat ourselves and go to a nice dinner in Coleman, Alabama. And so we found the lovely establishment, Logan's Roadhouse. And we were like, we're going to drop some cash and get some steaks. And it was the worst thing in the world because it was the only time we had to treat ourselves. And we got... Carson's was like still red, like still mooing. It was mine was so overcooked.
Ruined it.
It was like, God, look, we could have gone to like some barbecue shop or some shit and enjoyed ourselves. But Taco Bell and dollar menu shit for the rest of the time after that. We actually used Carson's food stamps before we left to just go to Walmart and got
stocked up,
yeah.
Heck yeah, man. I've only been on one really epic road trip, and that's one of the reasons that I wanted to get into comedy so much, was to do just what you're talking about. Break
the road and go to different places and see cool things.
Yeah.
That's the dream, yeah.
Yeah, and be able to make some money at the same time.
Yeah. Be able to support yourself.
Do you ever put any thought into that? I mean, I know that's not tomorrow with having a kid right now.
Yeah, no, I definitely see, it's hard breaking into the really like road work stuff. A guy I know, Brian, comes through here every once in a while, and he does like long tours and like just kind of himself sets them up and does really cool. And he has a podcast that's doing real well. He's in Connecticut, some Hartford maybe, and got a podcast. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, I just try and get all the information I can of how to. But really, it's going to be shitty the first couple years because you're going to be doing basically that, losing a bunch of money, hitting the road just to get your name out there, like for people to know you. And then friend a bunch of people on Facebook so you can talk to them later and annoy them.
I'm totally okay with that.
Yeah.
There are 5,000 friends of mine on Facebook that are ignoring us right now.
Hell yeah. Thanks, guys.
And it's hacking me off. No, that's not true. But that's where, like, I know a good bunch of people in a bunch of places because musicians come and
right,
networking with those guys.
Everybody's got their scene around different cities, and you find the people that you're doing the same stuff with.
So what I'm trying to concoct now is how do I leverage that network into being able to tour and do some comedy stuff.
How many venue managers do you have in those 5,000? Yeah. Well, that's definitely a start, I would say.
So what I'm saying is, I set all of this up to elaborately ask you if you wanted to go on the road, Zeke.
Fuck yeah, dude! I'm totally down. I need to wait until the baby. I feel like until he can like stand up and maybe has like a few words. Then I'll maybe hit the road for him. I don't want to do another 3.5 week tour yet, but I definitely want to hit the road for a couple of weeks. And
well, my idea is, since I've got a camper and I live a gypsy lifestyle.
Word.
Like I'm fucking lucky on
a
whole bunch of levels. So what I'm hoping to do is set it up so I've got a camper so I can drop a camper off.
Yeah.
Do a tour around that radius. Take that camper somewhere else and like be a day's drive away.
Are you like trying to rent a car in all these places that you're doing, or just get a bike or what?
No, pull the camper. Pull the camper.
Oh, it's a pull camper.
Stop the camper off.
Paid $5 a day for a campsite or some shit.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Satellite out, do as many shows as you can around that radius.
That's a good idea.
And then bounce around. And so I'm building my list of people that I can take and how do we network. Like one of the goals of doing PKPR and doing even this podcast is now that have built a following on Facebook, is how do I make my friends famous? Like people that I know that are good comedians, that are good musicians, that have shit that they want to get out. I am not an industry person. Fuck authority. I hate all those assholes trying to censor people. And so this is my way of saying, fuck y'all, we're going to put it out anyway. And so all of this is building to how can we go take over the world. And that's one of my ideas.
We control the nuclear weapons. We control the world. Not the comedy world, though.
Not the comedy world?
Well, comedy It's just tragedy plus time. So just bomb the whole world, and then after a few million years, it'll be hilarious.
Well, something tells me. What did Lewis Black say about the current situation? Like, it's so bad now that you can't even write jokes about the current state of politics because it's so abhorrent. It's not even funny,
and it's so out there in the front that there's no way to really twist it in a clever way. There's no need to twist it because it's just fucking ridiculous.
Right? It's insane already.
How the fuck did we get to this point?
Yeah, so I don't know what does comedy look like in a dictatorship? Were people telling jokes in Nazi Germany? Like, were people telling jokes under Stalin and
jesters? You just had to work for government officials, high-powered government officials. Marshall would make a great jester. He's got the thing down, especially in this day and age, because with his hip-hop set and his cross-dressed set.
I've never really thought about that though, but comedy, like, that's just got to look torturous. Like, trying to do clean comedy in a dictatorship, when there's no free speech. I don't want to make this. Well, I'm gonna make this comparison. It's like my friend Toulouse does a lot of comedy around here, and he does a lot of church shows. Yeah,
I could not do church shows. I would be tough for me.
Man, I know it can be done.
Oh yeah, I can tell you, he's hilarious and he kills it. And the other guy, Square Tight, is hilarious. Like, one of the best, top of the head. He's quick thinking. He does a lot of stuff, and they do church shows.
I need to hang out with these guys. I need to go take
notes. Yeah, whenever Tag was going, well, Levels might still be going on. Levels is one street that way. Jackson, place used to be called Tag, and they had a Sunday open mic that they charged $10 for a cover, but like not if you were performing. It was definitely a hard room to do, because if you weren't like on fire the whole time, they'd cut the music and boo you off stage.
I'm in.
Yeah,
that's what I need.
Yeah,
I'm all about a trial by fire, like rising to the occasion.
It gets tough after a little while. Like, I've probably done it, I don't know, like 40 times or so, and I've killed maybe 3. Done well, maybe like 8, and the rest of them got kicked off stage after 5 minutes. Because you got to be high energy in this moment. Like, you have to challenge them to shut the fuck up and like listen to me. Because I had I'm a little more laid back as a comic, so they were just
walking around you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's fine. I can say the things back, but it was just like, if I had to do a bit, like, I don't know if you've seen my bit where I repeat myself over and over again in like I called the deja vu joke. I did that one. This lady goes, he's going to do it again and again and again. I was like, on the second time, I was like, fuck. And she had already seen it. That's why, because at that point I was doing like a lot of the same jokes over and over again because I was scared to step out of it. Mm-hmm. So she just called my shit. I was like, I seen him. He does it again and again.
Damn, that's cold.
But when I killed there, it felt amazing.
Yeah.
There was one, like, they don't necessarily have a time limit. They just kind of kick you off whenever they feel like you're done. And I had gotten like 15 minutes into it. I literally said, which I shouldn't have said, now I know, but I said, I'm going to do one last thing or something like that. Mm-hmm. I know I shouldn't have said it, but I got halfway through that joke, and then he cut the music on me. I was like, dude, I just did 15 minutes and I was killing, and then you had to cut it like 30 seconds before I was done. Like, I would have, man. It just soured the whole grapes.
Yeah, I learned that lesson. If you ask how much time you have left, you have a minute.
Well, I didn't ask how much time I had left. I was just like, I'm going to do one more thing. Like, this is my last joke or something like that. Definitely like a newbie thing to say, but they cut me off. It's like, well, fuck, dude. You could just let me do it. It's principle. And I talked to him, the DJ Tech. And I was like, what happened, man? And they're like, the host, he was just being mean. I was like, all right.
At least he's honest.
Yeah. Well, the host said that it was DJ Tech that cut the music. Like, Tech was tired of it. I was like, talked to DJ, just like, nah, man, it wasn't me. Some collusion.
That's great.
Going on.
That's great. Just pitting each other against themselves. Yeah. Man, that sounds really fun, though. Like I said, I like the challenge.
Yeah.
Trial by fire. It's a good way to go. But I think if you've never gone through that, because I'm like you, I'm a laid-back comedian, and if you've never gone through something like that, you don't know what it feels like.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what it feels like, I mean, that's not even as good as masturbating.
Yeah, right? Because it doesn't know what that feels like. Why leave the house?
Why bother? God damn. Sit around and imagine stuff all day long.
Yeah. I would love to
Someone
do that.
touch somebody.
That was my big, yeah. My campaign, I say campaign, but I just kind of like talked about it a bunch. I was like, we need to fund philosophy again, because I want to just hang out and think. That'd be dope.
Yeah.
I would love to do that.
Oh man, when should we do this? Let's imagine this right now. All right, so if I'm kind of looking for podcasts to put on this Pretty Okie Pirate Radio Online when we do the online radio station.
Word.
So if we're gonna create a philosophy podcast, how do we make that happen? We should just do it here at the Blind Mule.
I thought about trying to make like a philosophy open mic. That would be kind of weird.
Oh man.
Just like people could get up on the stage and be like, I think this about things. That could definitely turn sour. It already gets
I've
pretty
done that. It's never funny. Some of my not funny sets turn into that.
Yeah, right? Just thoughts.
There was the TED Talk night.
Yeah. Yeah. We, Vietnam, because I was trying to write a lot, and at that point, I had been writing every week and doing new sets every week. That's why I used Monday, that open mic industry, as like my, just read it out of my book, like kind of feel it out, see what's funny and what's not, and then, so I tried to keep writing. I was in Vietnam, and not a lot. I was just kind of in a weird head, so I wrote so much I have like a half a notebook full of just thoughts that are not funny. Like most of them are sad. And I was like, because I was just sitting, I was going to places in Vietnam, backpacking around. I backpacked for about a month, and I went to these different bars to sit and drink and write, and it just turned all sour. Probably too much whiskey when I was writing.
That's awesome. Do they have whiskey over there? Or is it something else?
They have American, well, they have like Western whiskeys, and then they have Vietnamese whiskey, which is terrible. It tastes like an old fish in a rusted can.
Old fish in a rusted can. That's
real
atrocious.
Yeah, it gets you drunk though, that's for sure.
Oh God!
And you could feel it.
I'm sure.
Immediately. It's like your whole body's like, oh, that's gonna get me.
Like no, like all of the flora in your gut just dead.
Yeah, just nothing's left. It's actually just floor cleaner, but we put some brown food coloring in it.
Just a scooch.
Just a scooch.
Man. I would love to do a philosophy roundtable with you. I know a couple other people that would get into that.
Yeah, it would be. I enjoy thinking.
Yeah, it's philosophizing. That's kind of where the Truth, Love, and Peace thing comes from. I, being a part-time philosopher, came up with a theory of motives on how do you answer the question of why do people do what they do. And so Truth, Love, and Peace is the good and the ideal and the religious belief side of the horrible, nasty nature of reality.
Right.
That is fear, power, and novelty.
Yeah.
So if you want to know why anybody does anything, it's one of those things.
Yeah.
And I fleshed out how the whole thing, how the model and it all makes sense, in that novelty is straight out of Terence McKenna's time wave theory, and how novelty is dependent on context, and so you have the juxtaposition that enables you to find these midpoints, so you can in real time analyze why the fuck is this guy telling me this.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, psychology too, kind of.
Yeah. And you boil all of that down into fear being the root of the emotion. There's the emotional, the context, and the intellect.
Doesn't that kind of suck that everybody's kind of just categorized? It's like, well, you're in this category, and you're doing this because of this reason. You guys are doing this. It's like, fuck, man, I want to be a beautiful snowflake. Why can't it just be Why do you have to lump me in with all these other fuck-ups?
Because there are only two kinds of monkeys. Dumb ones and smart ones. That's all we're working with. I know, I want the dumb monkeys somewhere else too. But
I always say, you can tell, because either you're sad or you're stupid. So the people that are too happy, like, you are dumb. You don't even know what's going on around you, man.
That's very, very true. I've heard that put a bunch of ways. Because it's true.
Yeah.
It's fucking true.
Somebody, I said that to somebody like a while ago, and they put it on Facebook, and somebody was like, no, it's not true. Don't let this negativity get in your head. Like, align your stuff. I was like, man, you're who I'm talking about. Like,
you either know enough or you don't.
Yeah.
Those who know can't teach, and those who don't can't learn.
Yeah.
It's been put a million ways.
Yeah.
These little ghouly things on this table, I'm almost high enough to be amused by this, but it reminds me of ancient insects. Like how insects used to be really fucking big and nasty.
Really?
And
How
yeah,
big and nasty?
Well, like huge. We're talking like 6 foot long centipedes.
No.
Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah, they were dragonflies with like 3 foot long wings. Absolutely ridiculous. Because the oxygen levels were fucked up, and so because
not fucked up back then. It was perfect for back
Well,
then.
they were-
Now
yeah,
they're fucked up compared to then.
they were different.
Yeah.
They were different, and so there was a lot of oxygen, and so insects were able to get really, really big.
And there weren't people
Yeah.
getting the tank smaller.
Yeah.
Because then if you put a fish in the tank and it gets as big as the tank.
Well, and this goes back to the philosophy. I think it's interesting that we dismiss so much and we dissociate from our natural condition, and you can see it in things like this and where insects have come from. They used to be terrifying, and then we had them as monsters in horror films, in early films, because they were big and they were terrifying and they were, these crazy insect things. And nowadays, the only time you see an insect on TV is for a fucking Raid commercial. Because we have desensitized and we're fucking killing the ants and all that good stuff. You can't even pretend they're terrifying.
Yeah.
Unless they're like a fire ant, unless they're venomous.
Yeah.
Or poisonous. And then they're terrifying.
Yeah.
But
Like a tarantula.
you don't see insects dramatized in fear like that. And so from a philosophical standpoint, why is it that we need so much to have the shit disappear? And what's the cost of us not
Well, who's making those
being
decisions?
in nature? I don't know. But they suck, man.
Yeah. we'd probably be able to answer that if we knew exactly who was doing it, because then we'd put them in a category and be like, "You're doing it for this reason. You're in the bastard category."
Man, that reminds me of George Carlin bit. But
The bastard gory.
the bastard gory.
I think those are the creatures from the Black Lagoon.
I think you're right.
That's the
I think you're right.
goblins.
Swamp thing.
Swamp Thing. Yeah.
Swamp thing.
Why does this guy have the moon on his head? And why? That doesn't make any sense. Why would you have the big eye right there and too little? I guess that's the.
All of this just reminds me of so many great old horror movies.
Yeah.
So many great B
This
movies.
purple-orange thing going on in the orange
This looks
moon,
straight
but I
out of
like that.
Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
Straight out of
or a
Scooby-Doo.
Gorillaz music video. Yeah, that's pretty Scooby-Doo, and it's got the bats coming out at the end of the.
I want this to somehow be our first episode of a philosophy podcast.
This. What, talk about it or just a
I
picture?
have no idea how it could become a philosophy podcast, but I'd be game to try.
And this is like those books, the Animorphs or whatever. Remember those books that people morphing into animals, and it was like a flip thing?
I don't remember that one.
You don't remember those? They were around for a while. It was like the evolution pictures, but it was like a person turned into something else. But this is like the different stages.
I can buy that.
Freaky, that thing.
I don't know,
Does it have a tail? No, it's head. Is that a head? Is
It's
that
a
another
dragon. It's like a Loch Ness monster. There's way too much going
Yeah,
on. This is absolutely ridiculous.
nobody can see what we're talking about.
Enough about this goddamn table.
Yeah. This guy's throwing up.
Blood.
Yeah.
He got punched.
He did.
He definitely got punched.
Start. That's all it says.
I wish I could have been on tour with you guys.
Yeah, it was
I
fun.
would have loved to have been flying that
It'd been
car.
super uncomfortable.
Some kind of animal that didn't have a nose.
Yeah.
That was true for when he took our road trip. He didn't want to smell any of us.
Yeah.
It was a funky situation.
Yeah, it's
So-
like the greatest thing is getting a shower on the road.
No kidding. So aside from babies and comedy and your former music career that's soon to be revitalized, and I still can't remember how I got on Sonic Pain and Guantanamo Bay down in Cuba, but all of that aside, what have we left out in regards to the backstory of how you got into comedy and music and all that good stuff?
Starts in my childhood, like being the center of attention and right.
Starts in your childhood. Okay,
Yeah.
David Copperfield. I am born, I grew up. Well, were you the funny kid?
I was, yeah,
Yeah?
for a while, and then I was terribly shy.
Really?
Yeah.
How long? Like, when were you terribly shy? And when?
Middle school was about when it started. And then-
Puberty.
Yeah, exactly.
Girls.
That's when. Yeah, definitely 100%,
Yeah.
and lots of acne.
Right there with you.
That's what I say, that you figure out what your weaknesses are, or what you really freak out about in middle school, and the rest of your life is just trying to compensate for those things.
That's very true. How did you come up with that?
Because that's what happened to me.
Well, yeah, but I'm trying to find a good example from my middle school experience. Give me an example of that. Like something in middle school. The first thought is smacking a girl with a loaf of bread and running away going, is that Craig Ferguson who did that joke? I don't know, somebody else did that joke where, you don't know how to flirt with a girl, and so you just smack them.
Hit them and run away. See what they do. See if they're kind of like, ooh, I like that.
See who fights back or something. I don't remember what we were doing, but it was wildly amusing.
Yeah, my memory's bad. I think I blocked out most of that.
But I'm trying to think if there's anything else I was chasing from middle school. So for me, that's true in the trying to overcome the stupid thing. Like, not that anybody ever told me that, but I had a lot of people trying to help me to read better because of dyslexia and learning disabilities and stuff like that. So I had tutors. Okay. And so maybe that's the thing that I've always been outrunning, is trying to, because I have this severe allergy to stupid people, and I'm really angry that I grew up and realized that all these people that were supposed to be helping me
were stupid.
Yeah,
that's why I dropped out of school. Yeah, it's no fun.
I think school's gotten jacked up though. Like, I was a C student at best.
Yeah,
throughout school.
I did great in school.
They didn't offer me shit.
I had to keep going to different therapists because I was weird, but they gave me some drugs and it made me good at school. So.
Well, what drugs were you on? Ritalin was my first.
I went through a Ritalin period, Vyvanse, Focalin, which was something supposed to help with a couple. It was like a research drug at that point.
Yeah.
Like, it had just come on the market, and I don't know. I hated taking any kind of medicines because I was just real quiet and felt kind of fucked up too, because I think I played it off that I needed them more than I did, because I knew what they were testing me for, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, I'll do this. And so and then they jacked me up. It took like huge doses of things, so it made me feel fucked up. Like, I was going through the day, I had to pee all the time, and I was thirsty all the time. It was like a terrible combination, because you can drink water and then have to pee more, and pee and then be even thirstier.
That does suck.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Yeah,
so I stopped. I started selling those drugs whenever I went to college, and that's when I was like, fuck this shit. I hate this so much. But there's some good drugs. I was doing psychedelics too early. I don't know how. Maybe not too early.
I'm not sure if there is a too early. I think those things find us.
Yeah.
When it's appropriate.
Yeah.
And or you end up running through a bunch of shit that you don't learn from until later.
Yeah. You can look back on. Or you just do drugs and die. That's another option.
Yeah. Which is why I try and distinguish between drugs and plants.
Yeah.
The crazy drugs, I know better. I have an addictive personality. That would not end well.
No, yeah.
But the plants, I err on the plant side.
Yeah.
Psilocybin, man. Oh, man, I eat the shit out of some psilocybin.
That's good stuff.
I have anxiety issues, like really bad anxiety issues, learning.
Yeah.
Everything that goes along with it.
Right, yeah.
So, a little bit of spectrum, however you want to look at it. And that was one of the things that when I first got into psilocybin, which wasn't until I was 27,
okay,
that became really helpful for me.
Yeah.
Really, really helpful. Because I feel like now I can look back and see that the way school is set up, it's not set up for anybody to really learn anything. It's
just
set up
biding your time.
Yeah, it's clocks and schedules. It's not education. It's go learn how to
be a part of society.
Yeah, be a cog in a wheel.
Yeah.
That shit drove me nuts, man.
Yeah.
I hated that crap.
Yeah, and that's another thing people talk about. Like, my mom really wants me to take comedy classes or something like that. I'm like, dude, if I'd be taking comedy classes, I'd be taking it from somebody that didn't make it in comedy. And so then they had to revert to, hey, I know I write jokes. They're bad jokes, but I'll teach you how to write bad jokes.
Yeah.
Like, well, no. I would rather learn through a mentor or something like that. Somebody that's been doing something that I could, like, that helps me out. It's like, yeah, you're doing this wrong. Kind of in like in a life's classroom. Yeah.
Have you had any memorable mentors in comedy?
I mean, when I first moved here, Alfred and Ryan were big. Were like, these motherfuckers been doing it for years. Like, and Steven and Govna. So I mean, that was my local mentors, I guess. But they never really mentored me. Govna's just like, good job.
That's an interesting thing with comics because I welcome feedback.
Yeah.
But I don't want to make it seem like I'm begging for praise.
Right. And some people will. They'll be like, dude, did you see that? Like, how was it? How was it? Like, fine. Like, I'm not going to give you honest feedback a lot of times. But, I mean, unless you seem cool and I'm like, that's a thing you could definitely work on. Like, something obvious, like, get the mic out of your way. Like, get the mic stand out of your way if you take it out. Keep the mic next to your mouth so that people can hear you. It's easier to command a room if you're louder and clearer than them. So,
but there are two different schools of thought. That some people think it's good to talk process and comedy with other comedians, and some people think it's a no-no. Where do you have an opinion on that?
I think it is helpful to workshop, I guess. But every time I've tried to workshop with people, it just turns into us writing down stupid ideas. Like some of them, like.
Turns into a philosophy podcast.
Yeah, pretty well. But then, I mean, a lot of the times it's just like I have this joke that I've been trying to, and I need like a. Bill gave me. I wrote a stupid fucking joke, and Bill gave me a great. Like I was looking for the exact adjective I needed to use in a, or not adjective or phrase, but it started off. The only reason I hate maple trees is because they're so fickle or something. I couldn't find the right word for that. They may pull, they may not pull. Bill says, I said it to Bill, I was like, Bill, what do I do with this? And he said, the only reason I hate maple trees is because they're so up in the air. They may pull, they may not pull. It's still a fucking stupid joke, but it's way better that Bill gave me that up in the air turn to it. So that's definitely helpful. Whenever, I mean, if you're not bugging people too much and they feel like they can help, then Bill's real good at words. He's good at, he's a good writer, so he's helped on a couple of occasions. Been like, this could be better. Let's go.
Fuck yeah. Well, since people are starting to get here, I will, and we've been at this an hour.
No, we're
just fucking awesome. Time flies. Again, I hope you'll do this again.
Yeah, totally.
Please. Thank you so much for joining me. Definitely. And so stay tuned. We'll have a philosophy podcast and a tour date coming up for you soon.
Yeah, right. Hell yeah.
No, that being said,
satellite tour.
Hell yeah. Thanks for joining us, Facebook Live and YouTube. Alvita Zane.
Peace, love, and
peace, YouTube. Smile for the camera. There we go.